Hey everybody, this is Andrew from TS for Tech, and in today's video I'm taking a look at this cool new product from iFLYTEK. This is their AINOTE Air 2 device, and what's really cool about this is it's basically an e-reader, sort of e-ink display, but also a tablet with a stylus so that you can write on the screen, take notes, all that stuff. It's AI powered, hence the name AINOTE. And we're basically going to take a look at this, do an unboxing, review some of the features of this, and just jump right on in. I've already taken the plastic off of this, so it's easier to open up. But we'll go ahead and open this up. When you did take the box apart, you do see some reminders in here about what's in the package. So you have that. And then right away you see this pretty big screen. I will put this aside real quick. Inside the bottom tray of the box, you do have some additional things. You have a USB cable. So this would be a USB Type A to USB-C. So you can use that for charging and whatnot. You also have some quick instructions here. So just a short, quick instruction. And then on the other side, you have the stylus. So you have the stylus. Basically, there's a little sticker that says the wobble at the pen's tail is for eraser pressure. Should not be pulled out. Yeah, so basically that's a little bit flexible there. The pen is plastic. Has a stylus tip, you can see. So this is not unlike some of the older styluses you would have found on other types of tablet devices before, like the iPad. Sort of stylus, but fairly lightweight, comfortable. It's got a flat side. This edge is flat, so this will allow you to kind of like magnetically attach it to the side of the device. So if we look at what's on the screen here, it shows high precision 4+1 premium sound microphone system, shows where the stylus attaches, talks about the dynamic bar at the bottom for swiping and doing other actions. So I will go ahead and pull this off. And you can see the e-ink display is fairly crisp. Even when it's turned off there, you can see the back and sides are made out of what it feels like to be like aluminum metal. You can see up there's a dock scan camera, and it looks like an LED. Some information at the bottom, just covering up the serial number. Probably what looks like an antenna kind of built into there as well for the Wi-Fi. And overall, super lightweight. There's a couple little icons there at the bottom as well. Now I'll go ahead and turn this on, and let's let that boot up. So obviously some of the key things that you might use this for are like office type of things, office notes, meetings, if you're a student in school, if you're taking notes or transcribing, like your class and things like that, lectures, if you can use for reading. The core selling points or the core features in this that are something that go beyond, say, a Kindle or some of those Kindle Scribe or other types of iPads and things like that this does have voice transcription and handwriting analysis or handwriting ability. So you can write in cursive, you can print. This can keep your notes in that format, but also turn them into text or turn them into typed text and that sort of thing. This is still starting up, so I'll just keep talking. So I did let that boot up, and I went ahead and set up my account. I just went through the few steps at the beginning of the setup process. And now this is just going through a welcome tour. So basically talks about conveniently switching between tasks. You swipe up from the bottom and tap open the task or tap open the status bar. If you want to use the control screen or kind of like the info sort of thing, you swipe down from the top and that will show various things. I guess it doesn't work in this mode. But if you swipe down from the top, you'll get basically like the control center where you can adjust things on your, similar to on your phone, right? When you swipe from the top, usually there's some menu bar and things that pop up. And then there's a quick bar at the bottom. Basically, when you land here, you're basically in your notes. So you can add notes, you can record and transcribe from this screen. At the bottom, you'll see that it says that it just was syncing. So once you sign up for an iFLYTEK account, this will sync your notes with the account. It also will sync the notes with the app. So if you download the app, install it on your phone or your other device, and log in with the same account, you can basically sync your notes between them or see them on a different device. So here we have the notes, right? So, and there's a file directory sort of browsing perspective where you can create folders and that sort of thing. You can see just local notes, encrypted notes, flagged notes, deleted notes, all of your notes, that sort of thing. On the schedule, you will see that there's a schedule basically. So you have your calendar with a daily area to write your tasks or things like that. You can turn those into to-dos or have to-dos and check them off as you do them. You can surface things that you've starred that you want to focus on across the schedule. So like if there were like a month apart and things like that, you can view it that way. You can also set up and view the weekly agenda kind of there. And then reading. So if you go into reading, you can look at the bookstore or your bookshelf or Office Docs or things like that that you've synced. So there's a user manual here that will load and it will go through, and it's the user manual. There's a user manual. You can click on the little hamburger menu to go back. That will take you back to that reading screen. Like I showed before, or said before, if you swipe down from the top, you'll get the control center where it shows the wireless network, Bluetooth, airplane mode, screenshot. You can lock the rotation, change the brightness mode, the sound level, the type of pen you're using, if it's a pen or a fountain pen or a pencil or a brush, all of that. Now you're also able to connect this to a network disk, so like a cloud storage. So you can use OneDrive, or I also believe on your local network you might be able to set something up. I'll have to look at that a little bit. But yeah, like that's the basic framework of how this is set up. Here you can see their bookstore, some free books there that you can download, etc. I don't know if they have like a paid bookstore or not, but I also do know that you are able to load, side load sort of, ebooks and things like that, or PDFs that you have, that you already have purchased in a different location. So if we go back here, go into the default folder. Now some of the usage scenarios for this, obviously just your personal life, right? So if you are taking notes in class, lectures, workshops, those sorts of things, you can use the voice to text to capture thoughts on the go, convert handwritten drafts into actual typed text. All sorts of, personal use experiences. In the workplace, you can use this in meetings or to streamline document editing. Project management, you can turn your notes into tasks by using the to-do feature here. Generate meeting summaries from a transcription or notes in a meeting. I did mention education a little bit earlier, but yeah, definitely use this in classes, use it for your digital textbooks, that sort of thing. And then reading, right? So using this just as a normal e-reader for PDFs and ebooks and things like that. So lots of cool stuff. I'm just zooming in a little bit here so that I can use this. So if we go into the notes section, I can just click here on write, and I can basically start a note, right? So it says, please write the title. I can call this a test note. So as you can see, it's pretty quick to recognize your handwriting. And right away, it it changed that into it recognized what I wrote, and it put it as the title of test note. So if I want to change this and say test note number 1, you can see it did test note number 1. So it's intelligent in that it can kind of recognize your handwriting, right? Which is pretty cool. So I guess if I was here and I was writing notes and I was saying, like Bob, will talk to finance. Peter is going to call the CEO. Whatever, you can see, like, as you're writing, it's actually very responsive from a text on the screen perspective, fluidity and that sort of thing. You can change the shape of this. You can change the stroke. So if you want it to be thinner, you can see there it's thinner. If you want it to be thicker, you can make it a little thicker, as in that way. There's also like a pencil that, as you can tell, looks like it's like pencil on paper sort of thing. There's a brush, which is a little bit thicker, but also kind of not 100% solid. And then if you use the eraser, you just flip it around and you can erase right on the screen and erase whatever that you wrote. So that's actually pretty neat as well. So if we go back here, and I'll switch back to that pen because I kind of like that. Yeah, okay. And now if you click on the OCR, it will actually take what you wrote and use optical character recognition to turn that into text. And basically says, Bob will talk to finance, Peter will call the CEO. Now, I wrote CEO. This interpret that as CTO, which maybe my handwriting is a little bit not the greatest, right? So as you can see, when you're looking at this, it shows the linkages between them, right? So you can copy this, you can edit the text, you can export it, and do whatever in this kind of handwriting to text menu under the OCR, or you can go back. Now, there's some custom templates in here as well, which you can access with this little template icon at the top. So if you had like a planner, like daily schedule, weekly schedule, monthly plan, there's some documents here, meetings of minutes, that sort of thing. Some analysis, like SWOT analysis or 4-quadrant analysis. You can change the style of the background to be like a calligraphy paper or a boxed paper or just blank. There's some templates around health for fitness, medication tracking, self-care, that sort of thing. So you can also, I guess, define custom templates by using various image formats. So PNGs, JPEGs, other types of image formats. And it tells you where to store those. If you store them locally, you can put them in the template folder. It gives you a recommended size of 1404 by 1767, which is the dimensions of the writing area for the notes. So that's pretty interesting as well. Cool. So there's some different things here. You can manage the pages, you can encrypt it, and that sort of thing. So that's how kind of you basically start with a notes. You can write notes like that. Now, if you want to do a recording, you can start a note that's basically using recording. So as I'm typing here, it's going to go ahead and transcribe what I'm saying into the top portion of the note, and you can just let this go for a long time. Now, what I do believe is it also has multi-speaker identification, so it knows that there's a person here kind of talking. If there's somebody else, it would also kind of record their text as well, but somehow tag it as different users, which is kind of interesting just from an overall perspective. Now, if I was in this meeting and I was talking or people were talking and it's kind of recording that, you can also take notes at the bottom, at different points in the meeting, and it will kind of keep that keep those notes here as well, right? So you can add notes while it's transcribing, and you'll have everything at the end kind of together. So if I do finish there, it basically will have the all the recording here. So now if I go back and press play,
that's basically using recording. So as I'm typing here, it's going to go ahead and transcribe what I'm saying into the top portion of the...
So I don't know if that's hard to hear because my microphone is a little bit far away from there, but it kind of plays back the audio so you can hear it. And the audio quality that I'm hearing is actually pretty good that comes out of this. And then it also highlights the area in part, that you're at. So if you're actually in here and you click on like one of the handwritten notes, it's linked to that point in the meeting. So it will start to play from that point as well. So that's actually kind of an interesting feature that you can kind of link things together. Now, you can also add images to your, to your notes or to your meetings and things like that by either loading an image that's on the device or taking a picture. So if I went ahead and took a picture, now obviously this is going to be in black and white because this is an e-reader, or this is an e-ink display. And I can then insert that picture into the notes as well. Now, it doesn't go in line, it looks like. It basically just looks like it... okay, so it just takes that picture and links to the picture and links the picture into the actual the recording or the note that you were taking. So where'd it go? So anyways, it just links that picture into the note. You can share via this. There's a go back if you edit it and that sort of thing. So there's lots of full features to the note taking and the transcription, as you would expect. So that's basically highlight of the notes. On the the schedule, you can add things to your schedule. You can add meetings to your schedule by just clicking the little plus there. So if you want to add events, and that sort of thing. On the to-do lists. Okay, so it looks like to add these, I actually have to click new to-do. So if I want to do that and say, to-do number 1, confirm. And then we'll add that to the list, and then you could edit it, delete it, move it around, complete it, and that sort of thing. But looks like you do have to click the new to-do. So to-dos, as you would expect, I guess. Calendar, that's pretty self-explanatory. This also, I forgot to mention, it does have an email feature, so you can send and receive emails from here if you log into Gmail or set up another provider using the server details. I might try that out later. So then I can do things like send emails from this and send notes attached emails and get emails and that sort of thing. On the reading tab, go to that and just look at maybe The Great Gatsby. And it will go ahead and download the book. And then you can just navigate by tapping on the screen. And the text is pretty crisp. I don't know if you can see that. It looks pretty nice. So I think I can go back and forth. If I tap on this side, it'll go backwards. If I tap on this side, it'll go forwards. I think you can also then take notes here on the screen if you'd like to. You can add notes for the whole book. And the notes, this little notes menu there. So you can do lots of stuff. You can also disable touch if you don't want to use touch instead. Use the pen. Now, one thing I did forget to mention, like at the top here, you can see there is like a speaker grill. There looks to be some microphones on the different sides of this as well as the USB Type-C charging port at the top and the power button. And this power button also has a fingerprint reader in there. So if you set up your fingerprint, you can use your fingerprint to unlock encrypted notes. So kind of like a Face ID, but kind of like a Touch ID sort of scenario. But it does have Bluetooth connection, so you can connect to different devices. There's a bunch of different settings for the brightness, wallpaper, language region, battery percentage. If you want to auto lock or auto shut down, there's some keys and gestures you can set up in here as well. There's a passcode, like a 4-digit code you can set up. You can change your password. It has a fingerprint, different privacy settings and feedback and things like that. And then also you can check for updates for the device. And it does look like there is a new device here, or a new version of the firmware. So I'm going to go ahead and download that in the background. But overall, I mean, this seems like a promising device at first glance, and just looking at this unboxing and first look, the price of this is $549. You can get it on the iFLYTEK website, which I will link to in the description of this video. And I definitely think I will follow up with a more in-depth video after the fact here. Just because there is so much to cover, and this is just, basically the first look, unboxing, kind of initial look at the device, which I do think is pretty cool. It does look like it is a pretty comprehensive device and super thin, super lightweight, very well built, nice screen. And if you're definitely looking for something to take notes, for work, for school, for just personal sorts of things, this might be something to take a look at, as an alternative to, something that's much more complicated like an iPad. Maybe you don't need that level of, features and audio multimedia. Maybe you really just focused on paper style, like reading and writing. And you want something that gets good battery life, because of the e-ink display. Or those sorts of things, that might be something that might make you want to look at a device like this. So if you have any questions, go ahead and post those below. I'll be happy to answer. This is Andrew from T is for Tech. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.